I know I was recording. All right. What is going on YouTube? It's your boy Mr. Meme. And today, chat, I'm bringing you guys a build video that I've never attempted to do. I'm gonna show you guys the gameplay, exactly what's happening. I know a lot of lost sectors people find to be easy usually. This lost sector, I must admit, I have done it before, but usually a lost sector takes me about 8 to 9 minutes on an average. I put this build together on my Titan. I've had a build before. It was a Lorelei helmet on the Titan, but I tried this build with the chest piece that I have now. I'm gonna show you guys all the details right now, but I'm gonna show you guys the gameplay more. So I think that's like 6 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, and basically flawless. Okay, it was 5 minutes or 6 minutes flawless. I didn't die, and I was close to dying many times, but it was just fluent in how I did it. And I think the gameplay speaks for itself for the build and how good it is. Now, I am not accustomed to knowing too much in Destiny as far as builds go. So please be kind in the comment sections, okay? Big shout out to my man H-Town who told me about this build. He basically kind of like asked if I had the chess piece and I didn't have it at the time, and he was just like, oh well, we had nothing to talk about. And I noticed that people use this chess piece for like a lot of void builds, arc builds. I'm using it for solar build. I like it with solar build. I do want to use it with void builds, but I have to have specific guns that I want to use unlocked. For this build, I don't know what to call it. I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody has this online and probably could do a way better job of explaining it than I can. I don't know where I'm getting my health from, so I can't tell you again. I can tell you what I know, right? And what the talents pre-tell, right? What the talents are actually saying and what the talents are actually giving out and pushing out right now. All right, let's get into that. Let's get into the build. Chest piece I was talking about anyways, it is Heart of Inmost Light. I'm gonna post all of this so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Heart of Inmost Light. And I'm gonna show you guys through all the talents. Now, I haven't been using this. I have been using the Osseous Trigger and been switching between the Wishender and the Osseous Trigger. I've been using this elliptic the staff, which is a glaive that I use for unstoppables. I think glaives are way better for unstoppables, and I'll show you that when we get to the Ascendant Scepter. And I've been using between rocket launchers and grenade launchers. This doesn't really matter as far as anything, so I'm just showing you the guns. But the Wishender to me is the best bow. It is a one-shot bow, and if you do lost sectors, you can one-shot pretty much any level 1840 or level 1830. Only thing different between 1840, they hit just a tad bit harder, and it's pretty much the same end game content, right? So you can notice that. You guys should know that if you play Destiny. Wishender one-shots pretty much all the enemies, besides obviously the mini bosses and stuff like that. It does help with the barriers, and the Osseous Trigger is literally for like the overload, for any overloads that are available, right? And that'll be also in your Ascendant Shards. So I'll show you what I have real quick. Just to unlock it, I had to put 3 here. So I did put mainly the guns that I do use. I should be putting bow, because that'll also help with overloads. Maybe the Wishender can do double, double the issue, right? So it'll shut the overloads down, and it'll shut off the whatchamacallit. So I'm gonna definitely change this from anti-barrier because I don't really like pulse rifles like that anymore. But I do use them. All right, but I don't really care for them anymore. But I have the glaive unlocked, and for this build particularly, I just want you to know you gotta use flared up and rain of bolts. And you guys, you have the access that I have. I'm not gonna sit here and read what they do and everything. I'm just gonna show you exactly what I have, so you can just check it out for yourself. And if you can make it better, tell me what to use. I would love that. I do use Fire Sprite for the armor charge, and Shattered Orbs. I use Solar mod so I can get the cost obviously lower. I also use Void mods. I don't know why, but I've been using this. This has been my basic setup for all my builds, really, pretty much. I should start using Strand because I've been using Strand, and I'm telling you, Strand is really, really fun. But nonetheless, you want to copy verbatim. This is how it looks. This is exactly what I'm doing. And again, you guys have the same access I have. You can read exactly what I have. Today is April 30th, 2023. It is Dothith. It is my birthday. So you guys can check it out on the B-Day, the next day, probably on May 1st, which we're going to post. Great. Anyways, so the chest I have is Heart of Inmost Light. Again, any two of these two will work. It depends on what type of content you're doing. If you do change your artifact to the overload bow, and you can basically get the barrier and the overload with this one particular weapon, which I think I'm gonna actually do. I'm gonna switch that out, so you'll see a different build here. Because I mainly use the Witch Ender anyways, and if I can just send the shard to go here instead of here, I can kill overloads and anti barriers with just one bow, which is great. Unstoppables obviously will still be a main objective, so maybe I'll keep the pulse rifle, and maybe I'll take off the aim down sight first, and then for the champions, and then just kind of like use my glaive, because I've been loving the glaive, because if you hit them, you can basically block any damage attack that's coming to you, even boss damage, which is super good. Once you hit them once, I think the charge lasts for about 10 seconds, and that charge is really good, really OP when you're in like end game boss damage and stuff like that, especially with lost sectors and GMs and stuff like that. Please let me know in the comment section what I can do better to change some of these things around. I am trying to go for the 100 bit here, so I am looking for artifice armor. So we are going to be doing dungeons a lot more, just to make sure that we and we're going to try to farm it. But this is the old build I used to have, Lorelei. Pretty much just a simple change, swapping those. So what this does, obviously, use one ability brief to briefly improve your other abilities. Now, I think the Heart of Evil Light doing that is really, really strong. I don't use this in PvP. I use it only for PvE. I don't think it's as strong as or fun, I should say, or fun as my other build that I use with my other chess piece. I don't remember the name, where I just use the Sweet Business and literally just spray all day. All right, so that's pretty much it. And with the mods I'm using right now, I'm using Ashes to Assets. Works very well because I'm spamming nades. Literally, I don't think I have stopped throwing nades. And grenade kickstart is very important as well. It gives you another boost of kickstart if you have armor charge, which is what the fire sprites do. And the impact induction, bolstering detonation. Okay. For the chest piece, I'm just using basic. I just usually switch out what the OP status is. So if I'm running against Arc, which honestly is not true for GMs because they're literally running every type. So you just kind of gotta. I would put one of each, one of the most OP ones, right? So if you're gonna put Void, put Void. Especially if you're like me, you don't like to switch out things. I would put Void. I'd put like Solar, and I'd put like an Arc. I haven't seen Stasis really that much, so I'd put Arc, Void, and Solar. Those would be my 3 main damage builds. You know what I mean? I use Absolution, which is a cooldown for each time you pick up an orb. I am creating orbs, guys. I am creating orbs for my teammates. But I wanted to create orbs for when my teammates create orbs for me. I just want to have this available for me. There are probably better choices and options, but I think everything is revolved around an orb. So if I'm picking up an orb, I just want my abilities, all my ability cooldowns to happen. You know what I mean? So if I'm picking up any orb, I want all the abilities to just have a cooldown. It's for me, it's better. I don't want a specific grenade. I don't want my melee. Mind you, my melee comes back right away. Even if I throw my hammer's always back. You guys know this build. It's nothing new to you, but again, I've been using it, and just if you can take a look at the next gameplay, you'll see exactly how much my my abilities are coming back, how much quicker they're just coming back instantaneously after I use one after another. It was at one point where I wasn't even using my weapons, and just throwing my grenades, throwing my hammer, keep throwing my grenades, launching my wall, my barrier, and then just kept throwing more and more and more, and just kept coming. It just kept coming. All right. So it reduces grenade cooldown, which are for bomber. I have bomber on all three on the legs. I didn't see anything better. Again, for the knowledgeable people, please comment below what you think I should try. Would be better especially for my super, but I've been hitting my super back fast too. So again, the gameplay will show you. I got my super 3 times in 5 minutes, so that's really good in my opinion. As far as like damage being dealt for end game stuff content. For the Sunbreaker, I'm using right now Ember of Torches. Again, you guys can read it. If you see anything that I'm lacking here, please let me know in the comment section. Ember of Ashes, I'm using Ember of Searing, and I'm using Ember of Char. Okay, go through it yourself. Let me know. All right, Scorch, I'm using Soul Invictus, and I am using Roaring Flames. I think you have another option of Consecration, which is the Pommel Stone of the. I don't know what this does. While sliding, activate your charge melee available. Okay, so this actually would help. but I don't think they're better than these two. So again, if you think I should swap out to this consecration, let me know in the comment section. I'm using towering barricade. You can use this one for smaller reduced cooldown, which kind of helps, but I like to just have full block. Maybe I'll pop this for the stability and the range, you know, and the reload speed. This might actually help instead, so we'll try that out to see, because you know 38 seconds versus 48 seconds is pretty cool, right? Pretty good. The jump style that I use is strafe lift. I like this because it helps with directional pull, and I don't have to worry about just going straight up and stuff like that. The hammer obviously is what I use. You can use a hammer strike, which is like, I guess, a melee, but you just ignite it and then you basically hit your target with your body with a hammer strike. I have not tried it, so I wouldn't know exactly what it does. So I think it's a melee, as you can see this little screen here. I use a hammer strike, throwing hammer, and I use fireball grenades, guys. Fireball grenades is probably the key to all of this right now. It's crazy, guys. Causes scorches. Ridiculous, man, ridiculous. It's fun to use, and I have 2 of them, and I just keep throwing them, keep tossing them. It takes 1 minute to come back. It actually comes back way quicker because of the chest piece of the Heart of Inmost Light, which basically improves my ability. So, like, usually when I throw my hammer, my ability for my grenade comes back because my barricade's still there, and the grenade and the ability for that I'm using particularly, which is the hammer, is hitting the target instantaneously, and then boom, comes back my grenade. My grenade comes back. I'm kid you not. I felt like I was running another version of Starfire Protocol on the Warlock, where you're just tossing nades all day. That's what it feels like. Picking it up grants cure. So after I pick up the hammer, I basically heal. So that's what it is. It's basically a healing mechanism that I can use, and this is the only healing mechanism that I'm using right now. And again, you'll see in the gameplay. I appreciate you guys. This has gone long enough. I hope you guys enjoy this type of video. And again, please let me know in the comments below what I can do to get better as far as the build wise. And as you can see, you know, help me help you, help me, if that makes sense, for my platform to help you or others that are looking for help that don't have the help. Again, if you want to join ZMs or anything that you see, like the account right here, it's probably gonna go up to like 25 by this week. If you want to join some GMs, man, some raids, I've been doing all of that. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, I showed you everything I run. I'll probably put some of it in the end, where you can check it out, or I'll put all of it in the beginning, and just check out the gameplay. I think the gameplay is more important. All right, peace. But just don't. Oh, I know that's your problem, but just don't do it. I mean, my skills are coming back so quick. Hammer is a lot of fun, yeah, but it's not even about that. I used to use the Lorelei one, and seeing what it does now is ridiculous. You know what I mean? This part of Inmost Light. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy the amount of damage I do off this one guy. Like the amount of damage I can put out on just. Oh, Frosty, I was talking about H-Down was right. This is the chest, bro. Everything here. Still no better bow than this one. Three minutes, bro. That's so quick, bro. That's so quick. That is so quick. Damn, son. That is crazy. 5 minutes and 4 seconds for a lost sector. $101 kills in 5 minutes and 4 seconds. That's actually a lot, bro. It's good. It's the combination between the bow and it's just a combination between the bow, honestly. Like it's not anything else that's ridiculous with the talents. With this chess piece, like ridiculous, man.
Fighting the bad guys. They're the bad guys. You fuck anything and anyone. Come here, give me a kiss. Come here. Come here. Hey. Hey. Hey, fuck you, man! Who put this thing together? Me! That's who!